One thing about me as a parent is I'm not teaching my tiny people how to be well behaved. I don't claim to know anything, and I don't claim to know everything.
Some may think that millennial parents are complaining about what it means to have to raise kids in this generation. Some may say it's because that they are not overly reliant on grandparents and maybe they don't have that luxury. But some people may even think that they're just complaining too much. And the reality is that yes, you do have to cook, you do have to clean, you do have to do the laundry, all of these things. So check out some of these videos and let me know what you think on some of these perspectives.
Now, this may be a little bit unpopular because I know a lot of y'all let your kids do whatever they want, but not mine. Absolutely not. There are certain things that my kids are not allowed to do. Number one is play dates. If my son is invited to a play date to your home, just understand that I will be there the entire time. I don't need a break. There is no dropping him off. See you in a couple hours. I'm going to be there the whole time. I need to see how you speak to your kids. I want to know how you speak to your husband. I want to know if you have a dog, if you have a cat. I need to know everything. And if you have a problem with me being there and watching over my child, then I guess he can't go. Next one will be water safety. Y'all are too relaxed around these pools for me. Absolutely not. You can't take them to the beach. You can't take them to a pool. You can't take them to a lake, a water park. That's only reserved for me. Drowning is fast and it is silent, and I know no one is going to watch my child around water the way that I am. And if my toddler is there, I'm in the pool with her. The next one is out of state or out of town without me. I know some parents allow their kids to vacation with their neighbors, vacation with other families. Not happening. My son was 5 years old. His grandmother asked if he can come down to Florida and spend the summer with her. Can we both come? Because that's the only way he's going. I'm sorry, at 5 years old, that's a hard no. I already know I'm big on this one. Unsupervised playtime. If we're at the park, I'm on my feet, I'm standing, I'm walking around, I'm not on my phone, I'm not listening to music, I'm not reading a book. I need to see everything that's going on. I need to see all the faces that are there, the types of cars that are parked. I'm very observant when I take my kids to the park. I'm always close enough to be noticed, especially if the park is packed. You will know that his mother is standing right there. The next one I'm kind of 50-50 on because it depends on the situation, but sleepovers. I am very, very, very cautious about sleepovers. My son has never slept over to a friend's house. When I say friend, I mean somebody he met at school, somebody he met at camp, something like that. I'm okay with it if it's family, but even that's super rare for me. I need to know everyone in that household. I will be calling frequently, so answer the phone or I'm on my way. And I also don't allow sleepovers to my house either. A lot of parents like to do that. Oh, my kids can't sleep over, but they can come to my house. No, they can't come over either. Yes, my house is safe, but some of y'all kids play too much. They don't know how to respect people's properties, people's boundaries. No.
It's actually so easy to be a good mom. All you have to do is the laundry for the entire family, and make sure you smile when you're doing it. And then you just have to cook nutritious meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and 17 snacks in between. You also have to be on time for pickup and drop off. You need to know when there's half days and no school for some reason. You have to be in touch with the teacher, and you better know her name. Also, she's going to let you know about spirit days. Those are your responsibility. You want your kids to have fun, and you definitely don't want them to be left out. Also, don't forget, swim lesson registrations are next week at midnight. And so if you don't get your kid into that class, they're going to be totally bummed. They're also never going to learn to swim, and that's all your fault. And so in order to be a good mom, you have to make sure they get into that class. Also, you have to have a job because it's important that you contribute 50-50 on those bills. We believe in equality these days. But also, if you have a job, you probably hate your kids, because if you have a job, you're spending all this time away from them and you're letting somebody else raise them. And so if you're going to have kids, you should probably work from home at a job that also lets you watch your kids, so you can do two things at once. Then you're a really, really good mom. But don't forget, you can always ask for help. It's so easy. Just ask for help. And when you do, don't forget, you need to make a list. It has to be a pretty detailed list. Make sure there's step-by-step directions of every single thing your partner needs to know about the kids and the thing you're asking them to do, because they just probably don't know. They're really not in the know on the routines or the teachers' names or just the stuff that the kids needs. But the help is there if you need it, and don't forget to ask for it. But really, it's super simple. All you have to do is everything for everybody in your life. Put yourself last on the list and do it with a smile.
I can't find the TikTok to stitch it, but the other day I saw someone commenting that what are the millennial generation of parents going to traumatize their children with, that they're going to need to recover from in adulthood, because every generation seems to specifically like traumatize their children with something that they need to then recover from. So my theory, I have kindergartners. I'm literally in the pickup line for them right now. So my theory is that they're going to need to recover from us not letting them do anything. Or maybe not like letting them do anything, but okay, so my examples are, I will not let my children ride the bus. That's where all the bad things are learned. That's where they're exposed to people for an extended period of time that they don't need to be. Kids of several different ages together. It's just, they're not doing spend the nights, because yet another place where nothing good happens. And I did spend the nights all the time, and I can't say that they were all bad. Obviously, they weren't, and they were a really big part of my childhood. But when I hear what happened to other people at sleepovers, that is never happening. That is never happening.
Nobody warns you that when you have kids, your life literally becomes a treadmill of work, children, work, children, work, children. You're up all night 2-3 times, not getting any sleep because they're awake. Then they wake up at 5:30. Getting them ready, getting the household ready, going out to work at 7-8 o'clock in the morning. Working all day or looking after the kids at home all day because they're not well. The second you get back in the door from work, you're making dinner, like the second. Then it's bath time, bedtime routine. And then it's like 8-9 o'clock in the evening and it's time for you to go to bed. There's not a second of the day when you're free. And it's like that 7 days a week. Who said that was a good idea? You're constantly sleep deprived and constantly doing things for other people. It's wild.
One thing about me as a parent is I'm not teaching my tiny people how to be well behaved. I don't claim to know anything and I don't claim to know everything, but one thing that I can stand 10 toes down on is the fact that when it comes to parenting, what I was taught was you need to see a behavior, stop a behavior, and make sure they don't do it again. But that doesn't have much to do with what's going on, why it's happening or developing. That just has to do with how that's looking, how that affects you, and the reflection on you as a parent, not actually what's happening with a person in their own body and mind. And people will always be like, oh, that's gentle parenting. No, I don't gentle parent. The parenting that I do, I like to call it communicative parenting because we talk about everything, because we are learning how to have relationships with human beings. And that means human beings talking to one another, not because I'm your parent and you have to respect me, not because that's your sister and that's family and that's blood and you can't treat them the other way, but because this is how you should treat a living, breathing human being. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me the amount of disrespect the kids take. And people are like, yeah, well, you're the kid and you're the child and that's how it goes and that's what it is and I'm the adult.
I made an observation this week as a millennial parent raising JonAyves. Basically, my entire childhood, I grew up having my feelings hurt and being told to shut up and be quiet. And so now I'm raising children who I don't want them to feel that way. But the problem is I spent my entire childhood having my feelings hurt, and now I'm raising children who aren't afraid to hurt my feelings. And I think it backfired.
So I just learned that my parenting style is called intensive parenting, and it's the style that probably a lot of parents these days are using. It's where you are talking to your kids while they're watching TV shows, so they're not just staring at a screen. It's telling kids that they should be proud of themselves instead of telling kids that you're proud of them. It's a lot of the things that you are seeing on TikTok and social media and things that are being advised to us by the Miss Rachels and the Dr. Beckys of the world. It's called intensive parenting, and it's wonderful, and it makes great humans, and it is so beneficial for our kids. But it's so intensive that the Surgeon General just said that parental stress is at an all-time high, and we are all in danger of having a universal health crisis because of the levels of parental stress. This is a warning that is typically reserved for cigarettes, AIDS, those kind of things. So we're now in a position where we have to figure out if we continue putting all of ourselves into our children to help them become better humans, or if we scale it back.
I get to speak to a lot of parents, and I know that it's difficult to raise the kids these days. I'm also a millennial parent, so I completely understand. Now, that being said, maybe there is some work that we have to kind of adapt to understand that, yes, we do have to do all of these extra activities. They're not even necessarily extra, they're just required. And yes, there may be some extra complaining happening. Maybe it's because there's the ability to do it on social media that makes it a little bit easier or almost a little bit more widespread. And we end up having a connection to some degree with other millennials who say that, oh, well, I'm having that problem too. However, what that also means is that others are going to be looking in, either they're from older generations or even younger generations, and saying, well, why are you complaining so much? You have access to everything. You are only complaining too much. And that's sort of all that we're seeing. So let me know what you think in the comments and would love to continue the discussion. I'll see you in the next video.